What are you going to cook for us today, Steve?
Today, Michelle, we're going to start off with some asparagus and we're going to start off with some barbecue leeks. Most people tend to cook asparagus by steaming it first or boiling it first. I actually just put it straight on the barbecue, let it take the flavour. It's just a different woody, nice fresh flavour like you would do if you're in the fields. You pick it, you put it on a fire and eat it. So it's going back to the way this style of cooking was done 2,000 years ago. It's from the Japanese style of cooking, and they cooked everything in a ceramic pot. So this has just come on from that, and this is called a Kamado Joe. They've been around now for about 40 years. There are other ones available on the market. I found this one to be the most consistent, flexible version, which is why I've been using it now for about 3 years. And this particular barbecue has been in my garden through wind, rain, snow, and we cook on it pretty much half of the week. So what I'll do for a start, I'm just going to open the barbecue up, which is perfect temperature now for barbecue roasting. And you can see there's no flame, there's nothing going on there. You should always remember to burp the barbecue a little bit when you start, so I'm just going to put the leeks straight onto the barbecue.
So how long would you cook these vegetables on the barbecue for?
It's no different to using your oven at home or a frying pan at home. Basically, you want a nice caramel colour on the leeks,
yes,
but not too black, so you don't want the bitter taste. With the asparagus, it will just soften it, because it's in the ceramic barbecue, it's almost steaming.
Yes, I get that with the.
So that is why when you're cooking meat, all different things on there, the moisture retention is absolutely fantastic. And these, I'm sure now you've smelt it and seen it.
Smells amazing.
It could be amazing. I say a leek and charred leek oil. You can do soup with it. You made the potato consomme, so you imagine a leek consomme, that sort of thing. So, and then some chicken on the top, chicken dumplings and things like that in it. So there's so many things you can do with it, and it's just the humble leek because it's been cooked slightly differently. I love them pickled because my partner doesn't like gherkin, so it's a way of getting the same texture as a gherkin put into a cooking liquor, and they can be stored for a long time. So.
And that's really fresh, isn't it?
Yes.
With the smokiness and the freshness of the pickle, I can imagine that works really
well.
well.
What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to check the asparagus as well. So I'll just give it a turn over. So here we go, and you can see it's taken on, it's starting to soften. If you can just have a feel, Michelle, on your fingers, you see it's just getting a little bit al dente there.
Oh yeah.
So you just have to give it a little bit of roll over. And this is just like cooking out in the open, and a wood fire. But you've got the control here. There's no electric, there's no nothing. It's just literally light the charcoal, let the embers burn, and let the temperature rise, and then you close down the chimney and the flue, and this will sit at the temperature you want for hours and hours and hours. I've tried so many great charcoals. There's actually a new charcoal now, which is the Sherwood charcoal, which is a local Nottinghamshire charcoal that's available in some of the farm shops and becoming more available to the market, so I definitely recommend that one. So I'm going to take the asparagus off now because it looks to me like it's perfect, and once I put it onto the tray, we'll put it into a serviette and you can have a little bite and see what you think.
Lovely, can't wait. So with the lid being down, it's actually retaining the moisture, so it's almost steamed.
It's almost steamed in it. You can even put a tray with some water in to create more steam. When I'm doing a brisket for 14 hours to 24 hours, I'll have a silver tray in there and I'll keep topping it with water every few hours. Or you can use beer, or you can use any liquid whiskey, apple juice, that sort of thing. If you're cooking pork, you put apple juice in there. And it just impermeates through the meat and keeps the moisture in there, and you get a lovely bark on the outside, like you have with this. Fantastic. But you can still see it's still soft and moist. So if you want to have a little taste there,
of course.
Let's give you a serviette and
just
burn your fingers.
It's going to fly away. It's a bit windy here today, isn't it? I'll just take this
It's great from cooking in the back garden. As I say, this has been outside in my back garden, back of the kitchen for 3 and a bit years. Still moist and almost like it's been steamed and then just...
And that is beautiful.
And again, I just had that snap, so it's just perfect.
Absolutely beautiful, and it is cooked to perfection, and that literally took 10 minutes, didn't it? Yeah, that is beautiful. Generally at barbecues, everybody likes a good burger. So what's your idea of a good burger on a barbecue?
For a burger, obviously beef burger, I would put just some great steak mince from a local butcher, and I would put some bone marrow in it. A bit controversial, but it adds flavour to it, and a little bit of salt. That's all you need. No, you don't need to put peppers in there, onions, egg, and just some good steak mince and a little bit of bone marrow. But obviously burgers are very trendy at the moment. You can get different meats, different flavours. There's fish burgers, tuna, that sort of thing. Today I thought I'd get some venison out of my freezer because I had some left over from the game season.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
We've got it in a bowl here. I'm just going to whack it together with bare hands. I'd recommend if you're cooking at home, obviously potato, that sort of thing, I'd say use some vinyl gloves. Because obviously cross-contamination, that sort of thing. Luckily we're not, cross-contaminating today, so I'm going to go and wash my hands afterwards. But what we'll do now is we're going to take some of this burger mince.
Okay, so that is just pure.
It's just pure venison mince. That's all
Nothing
we need.
Else in there?
No.
No salt and pepper seasoning.
Not at all.
Like
No,
that.
let the mince. It's like when we cook the leeks and the asparagus. Let the produce speak for itself. This is really good quality venison mince that I got from a farm shop from a fantastic estate, and I'm just going to put it on no oil, nothing. Just put it straight on there.
Straight onto the
barbecue.
bars, and it's not going to stick.
No, it won't stick.
Right, okay.
There's enough fat, there's enough fat in the venison because you need 10% fat at least.
Yes, yeah.
So when that drips out, that's going to stop it sticking. So obviously that'll cook away now. I'm just going to open the barbecue a little bit because I want it to go a little bit hotter on the leeks and the asparagus.
Yeah.
So that will probably take 8 to 10 minutes, depends how you want it. If you trust the source you're getting the meat from, I like my burgers rare.
Right, okay.
But
yes,
some
everybody
people,
likes their burgers, you know.
it's the risk you take. You should, when you're eating at a restaurant, you should get it medium rare or medium, sort of, to a certain temperature. One of the things I've learned with doing sous vide cooking is what temperature meat's safe at, and it's just getting the correct core temperature of the meat to make sure it kills all the bacteria. One of the big things we hear from barbecues at home is people get food poisoning, that sort of thing. Be really careful. I've got somewhere around, I've got a temperature probe, and I'm a big advocate of using the vinyl grills when you're cooking and preparing meat, and using a temperature probe when you're actually taking it off the barbecue to see what temperature is in the centre. So when we take it off, we'll check the temperature on the inside, and that'll be perfect.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just going to turn the burger over here because it's had a few minutes that way, so there you go. And then I'm going to close the barbecue down in because, again, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So again, that's going to be about another 4 or 5 minutes, and that's going to be cooked all the way through because it's venison, and I want to make sure, I like my medium rare, but for today's purposes, we'll show the customer.
So it's cooked all the way through. Yeah. So using venison, I know that venison's a lot leaner than beef. Tell me a little bit more about using the venison. It's
just a different flavour. Everyone's, you can get burgers everywhere now, beef burgers. So you can use turkey, you can use lamb, you can use venison. Ostrich is very popular at the moment. Now I'm going to take the thermometer, I'm going to open it out, and you can see it's digital. So I'm going to lift the barbecue, and we're going to check the temperature of the burger, and hope that it's up to temperature. As you can see, it's rising above 70 degrees.
And what should the optimum temperature be?
Really, you want it sort of above 70, 75 if you want it well done. If you want it a little bit rarer, you look at 65 is sort of medium rare. If you want it rare, you're looking at 57 to 62, but that's your own personal choice and that sort of thing. So I'm going to take it out now, so that's up to temperature. You can see the moisture retention from the barbecue in there. It's cooked, but there's still the moisture there, so you bite into it, and the juices you're going to have to
juicy.
It's messy
making
food.
Me hungry.
It's messy food. What would you put with that?
I'd probably char grill some mushrooms, some wild mushrooms maybe, or you can make a mushroom ketchup, or a really funky coleslaw. Don't be dull with your coleslaw. I'd probably make a fennel or a beetroot or anything like that really, just to create a bit of crunch in there.
So now, Michelle, I've got these short rib slices. Short rib's normally something that you cook for hours and hours in a barbecue. These slices take less than 10 minutes. They're marinated in Korean spices of soy, ginger, black bean and garlic. And they literally, like I say, they're going to take 3 or 4 minutes either side, depending how well you're cooking. So I'm going to put them on now. I've turned the barbecue up a little bit so it's more at steakhouse cooking. So you're talking sort of 300 degrees centigrade upwards.
Okay.
So if that's all right.
For you Screencity listeners out there, there is a dial here with temperature on it, so you can see exactly what temperature you're cooking at.
You have a smoking range, you have a barbecue roasting range, you have a steakhouse range, and then a searing range. So if you're searing something like a steak, really, really hot, for the steak, this sort of thing, steakhouse is perfect because you're getting the high heat to give it a crisp, caramelised on the outside, and then inside it's keeping the moisture as well. So I'm just going to open the barbecue now. Again, remember to burp, so just open it a little bit and then take it out. Otherwise, you tend to see your eyebrows, and you'll only do it once.
Oh, goodness me. And this short rib has got some kind of rub on it. Explain what's on that, Steve.
It's basically just some fresh ginger, some soy sauce, some black bean, and some garlic, and it's just been left in that for a few hours, and left the plate nice and messy. But you can hear that sizzle. It's a bit hotter now.
That sounds like a good old-fashioned barbecue. That.
So, again, I'm just going to close the lid down. They're already starting to change colour, you can see.
Yes.
So that's why we put it up a little bit. It's going to drop down a little bit now because I've got it open, but that will soon shoot back up to a hot temperature. So I'm just going to open the flue at the bottom as well a little bit to get some more oxygen in there, because that's how you control the temperature, with the oxygen going through.
Right, okay.
Always remember to clean your tray at the bottom, because if you get too much ash in there, then it's blocking all the holes and the air's not circulating. You need air to circulate all the way around the firebox on the inside. So again, the smell coming off that is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. Speaking of which, I mean, I'm no expert in barbecuing at all, but I used to throw herbs on the coals, you know, but I guess with the lid being down on this, it would keep that herby smell.
With something like this, you could put star anise in there, cinnamon sticks.
Fantastic.
You know, fresh herbs, obviously.
Really,
you know, you could almost put garlic in there with the charcoal.
Okay.
And roast the garlic, and then obviously when you're finished, you pop the garlic out, you've got some pureed garlic.
Fantastic.
Okay, so Michelle, the ribs, sorry, not the ribs, yeah, short ribs are now ready to take off. You've smelt them, you can see there's lovely char on them. So I'm just going to take them off and put them on the board now. So we're going to open the barbecue again, burping it, so we've got no oxygen blowing back and singeing our eyebrows. So take them out and then put them on the board there. You can see moist, caramelised, and that's short rib. Obviously, normally that takes a long time to cook. This one looks absolutely beautiful. Look at that.
You can really smell the flavours of that rub as well that's on there. It smells divine.
Okay, and that you can see it stayed moist, but you've got the caramel around the outside, so you can get that lovely barbecue crispness there. I'm sure that was sliced beautifully. You could almost slice that, turn it into a stir fry if you wanted to, with some noodles, some bean shoots, some spring onions, that sort of thing, some fresh herbs, some coriander, chilli. You know, you can have it as steak. Obviously, it's got the bones in, so you'd have to cut the bones out and have a nice bit of sandwich there. Great with a few chips, potatoes. You can actually do jacket potatoes on here as well. So you could do wedges, you know, and then just drop some oil on them on a tray in there, because it's just, as I say, it's like an agra outside. So you can roast them in there, you get beautiful roast potatoes.
Fantastic.
When I did my turkey at Christmas, we had the turkey on the top, and we put a tray underneath with the potatoes in, so all the dripping from the turkey was dripping down onto the potatoes. It was just fantastic.
Turkey dripping.
Yeah. Okay, Michelle, so I've served up the short rib here, the Korean spice short rib. I've actually barbecued a piece of lime as well, just to give that a bit of char. And I'm going to squeeze a little bit onto this beef here, and I want you to get in there, no fork, just with your fingers, and grab a piece and
get
in
stuck
there.
in.
As you would do any barbecue, you know.
Right, I'm going to go in, folks.
I think I'm going to have a piece of that as well, because it's looking really inviting.
Rip the piece off.
Wow. Sour, sweet, spicy, and smoky. Just got that lovely smokiness. You're enjoying that?
Beautiful, beautiful, folks. You must try this at home.
Wow. Okay, Michelle, this is the final thing we're going to cook today. Okay. This is a Nottinghamshire lamb chop, so a Barnsley chop, and I've got a little rub here. It is a secret recipe, but you know we can make our own rubs. If you look in your dry sauce cupboard at home, you'll find things like salt, pepper, paprika, probably some dried mixed herbs. In this one today, I've got paprika, garlic, salt. I've got oregano. There is cumin, coriander, and a little bit of sugar in there.
Okay.
So it's a spicy, sweet sort of rub. So a little bit of Indian influence, I think. That's probably a good thing to say.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to put a little bit into the. In fact, I'm going to put the steak into the bowl first, or the chop into the bowl first. I'm just going to literally rain it over the top.
And you can use this rub with different kinds of meat, or just really.
It's better with lamb, I have to say. If you're looking at beef, I would look at something without the cumin and coriander in it, really. This one particular works really well with lamb. I've used this on lamb all the time. Okay. So there you go. We're just going to coat that like that. Don't need any oil. Just you can see it sticking to it because the lamb is so fresh. You can see it's got a lovely colour on it, and that's literally going to just put straight onto the barbecue again. There we go. Just get that in there so it's all over it.
So this is not a rub that you would leave on the meat to marinate or anything like that. It's an
you could do, but I mean, last minute, just because you can get the flavour there, you'll smell it when it starts to cook. You'll smell the herbs. You know, when you're making a curry or some spices, you put the things into the pan first, don't you? You toast them first. So the idea with this is that what you're doing, the barbecue's almost toasting the spices onto the lamb.
Right.
You don't want it to go too black. So I'm just going to put this. You're hoping the moisture in the lamb, and the way this keeps the moisture, will give it a nice crust.
Of course, yeah.
But then keep the lamb flavour in the middle there. So this one's going to take a little bit longer. This will probably take about 10 or 12 minutes. And I'm sure you can cook some great salads to go with this. We talked about the pomegranate one earlier, didn't we?
Fantastic, yeah.
I did a spring lamb dish, if you remember, with some charred grilled lettuce. So that's the way out there. Charred grilled lettuce.
So you can do the charred
lettuce on here. Literally cut a piece of little gem in half, straight onto the coals while you're cooking the lamb, flip it over, put it into a bowl, and leave it with a tiny little bit of rapeseed oil on there to give it a little bit more flavour. And then you put in your lamb meat, you can put some blue cheese in there, Stilton, feta, just a good creamy cheese because you want the saltiness in there. because you've got the spice, you want the saltiness. Another sweet thing you could do is some elderflower and some raspberry as a dressing to go in there. So that's more of a spring salad rather than summer. So we're into summer now, a bit more hearty. So I'm sure you've got plenty of ideas spinning around your head now, thinking what you could do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we've turned it over, we're going to take it off now and just let it rest for a few minutes before we dive in and taste. So here I've got the Barnsley lamb chop in my homemade rub, which isn't a secret anymore, but as I say, you can make your own rub. I'm sure you've got great ideas spinning around your head.
Absolutely.
So we're just going to let that rest for a little while. But you can see it's got a lovely golden colour with a little bit of char, and it's still moist again, same as when we cooked the steak earlier.
Beautiful.
The whole thing with the barbecue is retaining the moisture in the meat, retaining the moisture in the vegetables. So if you cook fruit on there, it retains the moisture, but you get a lovely char on the outside. So this is almost the main course for the day. And I'm sure you can get some great ideas to serve with this, some nice different rices or salads.
Yeah. Beautiful, yes. Well, that wraps up our barbecuing with you, Steve. Thank you so much for coming.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Today, and showing us all your handy hints and tips. And I'm sure the Screencity readers will be clued up on their barbecuing.
I'm sure if they check me out on Twitter with Chef Steve Durham or yourself, we'll be adding more and more different recipes, and I'm sure through the summer as well, your website will have amazing recipes on it like it always does, and pictures of great food. So just enjoy your summer of barbecuing. That's all I can say, really.
Thank you very much. Thanks again, Steve.
That's right, thank you.